This is NBC6 South Florida Today.
Welcome back. As we all know, school isn't just about learning. It's about socializing too, making friends and joining clubs and other extracurricular activities. As your kids get a little older, this means they will be faced with many temptations known as peer pressure. We know about that. Well, joining me now is Barbara Zolman with Drug Free Youth in Town, or DFYIT. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's a pleasure. What is this organization all about?
DFYIT, as we call it and the kids call it, is a community service club in middle and senior high schools. We're in Dade and Broward County with over 7,000 members. And basically the club gives our children the skills, the opportunities, and rewards for being drug-free. We reward them for walking the walk and talking the talk about being drug-free.
And how do you reward them?
Well, we reward them by giving them incentives, by taking them on educational field trips, and by giving them events that will also help educate them as leaders in their schools, because we hope that their leadership within their schools will help the full school student body become more aware of the dangers of drug and alcohol.
And now, not anybody can just be in it. You've got to meet certain criteria, so it's kind of a privilege to be in this group.
Well, really, it's a privilege to be in the group. It's a privilege to grow up healthy. But to be in the group, all you have to do is to be willing to take a random drug test throughout your membership and an initial drug test to get into the club. But you don't have to have great grades. You don't have to be a musician or an athlete. Anybody can join the club, and kids love it. It also gives them a way to let their parents know that they are drug-free, because they are being screened and they can prove their drug-free status to their parents.
Fantastic. As we start to look forward to going back to school, is this a conversation that parents should have with their kids about drugs and the dangers of drugs, and to be on the lookout?
It's definitely a conversation. Really, the conversation should start as early as elementary school.
That early? That
early. And a conversation where the parent is an active listener, where the parent lets the child talk about what they know. If the parent doesn't know something, the parent should say, you know, I never heard of this. Let's find out together. It's a way that parent and child can together keep the communication alive. Not just one conversation, but conversations throughout their education.
And I know it's any parent's worst nightmare when you have a suspicion that your kids might be hanging with the wrong crowd and drugs may be involved. How do you initiate that conversation, and what do you do if you have a suspicion?
I think the most important thing is to be honest and upfront with the child. I have noticed this. I have noticed that you have some new friends. I noticed that you're not dressing the same. I found something in your room. Let's sit down and talk about it. Not to be angry, to hold the temper, to make it a win-win conversation, not to be accusatory, but to open up the conversation, not ask yes or no questions like, are you using drugs? You know, open-ended questions where a conversation can come about between the parent and the child.
Now, I know one thing that has kind of been mind-boggling for me. Yeah, of course, when I was in school, and that's a long time ago, there were drugs. They've been there forever. But now this whole thing with stuff right in the home, over-the-counter stuff. So you don't even have to just worry out there. You got to worry about what you bring in your house.
Right. Prescription drugs. We've been on before talking about prescription drugs. Your medicine cabinet is really the drug dealer of 2007. It's very scary. It's really the parent. The parent. DFYIT is a great organization, but parents are really the first defense to protecting their children against drug use and abuse.
Well, Barbara, thank you so much, and we appreciate what you're doing in our community, and we commend all the kids who get involved with this.
Thank you, and to learn more, just go to our website, www.dfyit.org.
Fantastic. And again, for more information, you can go to DFYIT and keep the kids and the drugs out of their hands, or you can just log on to our website at NBC6.net. Once you're there, click on South Florida Today, and we will recap the show and connect you to DFYIT's website.